everybody, welcome back. Today I have a very interesting little rifle that I'd like to share with you. This is the Henry model AR-7 US survival rifle. It's 22 long rifle. From what I'm aware of, this comes in 3 different colors. You can get it in the mossy oak breakup camouflage, which is what we have here. You can also find it in black, and I also believe they make it in silver. One thing that I like about this is if you look at the distance, the length of it from the bottom of the buttstock to the top, it's 16.5 inches. It's a very light rifle. It's made out of ABS plastic, weighs approximately 3.5 pounds. This was used by the US Air Force pilots. They kept these with them in the event that they may have had a downed aircraft. So it's a very popular little rifle. From here, I'm going to show you what this looks like when I take it out of this case. Now, if you look here on the bottom of the buttstock, you can see these little grooves right here. And if I rotate this around and you look at the other end, it's real smooth. Those little grooves are for you to put your thumb on so that you can push the buttstock open. And what this does is this exposes the parts of the rifle. So the first thing here is the barrel itself. The barrel with the lock ring. It's a very light little barrel. The next thing that we find inside is the magazine. You got to pull kind of hard because it holds them nice and tight. These magazines hold 8 rounds. You can get these if you need a replacement magazine. You can find them on Henry's website. They're around $20. And the third component inside is the receiver itself. Looks like this. To release the magazine, on the front of the trigger guard, you push this forward and the magazine will come out. So this gun comes with 2 magazines. Okay, now that we have all the pieces laid out in front of us, let's talk about assembly. This barrel is got a very interesting feature on it, and that is this little notch right here. This little notch fits into a corresponding groove in the front of the receiver here. What I really like about that is it would be easy to put this together even if it was dark, if it was in the nighttime, because there's only one way that this barrel will fit. And if you can reach up here with your hand, even if it was dark, you can feel the alignment of the receiver in comparison to where the front sight is. And just a simple twist, you would know that your front sight would need to be upward. So that'll help you line up this barrel with the receiver. It just kind of pops into place, and then you take this little barrel lock ring and tighten it in. It's very simple. I like this because they've done a real nice job knurling this lock ring here. So you don't need any tools to do that. Another thing I want to mention is there's a groove here so you could mount a scope to this if you wanted to. The next thing that we would do is there's a hole right here in the back side of the metal. And this hole is where this screw here is going to go into. So this notch, we're going to basically feed it into this notch. Let me get it a little higher. Right there. From here, the screw goes in. And one thing that I've been told is not to tighten this too much because this metal's kind of thin, kind of weak. So that's basically it. We have it assembled. Last thing, of course, we would put this buttstock back on. So there you have it, all together. That's what it would look like. Let me change my angle a little bit and I'll show you a little bit better view of it. So that's the Henry AR-7. Let me zoom in again. So to insert your magazine, you'd basically put it just like so. It locks into place very nice, very clean, very easy. And again, this magazine release is in the trigger guard, and it's got a very deep trigger here, trigger guard, so that would be nice if you had gloves on. Maybe in the winter time it's kind of cold and you want to release the magazine, you could just push forward and see how easy that falls out. It just falls out real nice and easy. Another thing that I like is the charging handle. You can take it out, and I'm changing angles because I want to let you see a different view of the charging handle. Right now the charging handle's out. You can also push it in. Okay. Let me talk about the rear sight. The front sight is a standard blade. You can move it left to right to allow for windage adjustments. And back here you have two different apertures for your rear sight. Now I'm going to take this buttstock off again real quick, and I'll show you the difference of the two apertures. So I'm going to unthread, basically pull this off, and if you notice, the aperture up here is a large aperture for nighttime, and then this aperture down here below is a lot smaller. That would be a good one to use in the sunlight, in the daylight. The next thing I would do to disassemble would be to take off the barrel lock ring, and then from here the barrel just comes off. If you want to clean this, it's very easy, and what you would need to do is you would need to take your finger and push it inside the receiver into the bolt area and push the bolt back about 1/16 of an inch, and this will allow you to take out the charging handle. From inside, the bolt will come forward and it'll drop into your hand. You'll have two springs, two return springs, and also inside you have a spring guide. Kind of floats around in there. It's a little bit difficult to get out. Little piece of plastic. This is what you would put your springs on. You notice it has a groove here on the bottom of it. So to reassemble, so you could basically take it apart, and that's all your cleaning right there. Reassembly is just the opposite. On the bottom of the bolt here, that's the direction that you want this notch on the spring tension thing. I don't know what the name of this part is, but you want this groove pointing down the same direction as the bolt would be. Because inside the receiver you have, I don't know if you can see it or not, I'm touching it with my finger. Let me zoom in a little bit. Inside you can see there's that little notch, and that's the same notch that the bolt rides against. So you need that notch down so that you'll clear it. Basically insert it in. You'll have to play with it a little bit to get that notch around. There it goes, that piece. Looks like my springs came out. Let me try that one more time. So my two springs go on the bolt. The bolt bottom goes with this groove, goes down. Insert it in again. Get it around that notch. There we go. Finger's going to go in, and you want to bring this charging handle hole back to about there, and then reinsert your charging handle, just like so. From here your action is complete. Now I'll talk about putting it away back into the buttstock. Now we're going to take all these components, we're going to put them into the buttstock. So I take that cover off, take one of the magazines, I'm going to take the empty one in this case, put it into the receiver. The receiver, you can see, it's obvious that it only goes in one way. Slips in like so. Magazine goes like so. And inside you'll see there's a little notch. Holding it a little high here, you'll see there's a little notch where the front sight goes into. And that's where the barrel goes. From here I'm going to close it down. There's a couple things I wanted to mention that I didn't mention earlier, and that is this thing is waterproof. and it'll also float. So if you drop it in water, it'll kind of, the heavy parts here will kind of go down, and this part here will be sticking out of the water. Just like so. It'll kind of float just like this. Another thing I wanted to mention is that the barrel and the receiver, they're Teflon coated. When you have the gun fully assembled, barrel and everything put together, it's about 35 inches long. This is very popular because of its reliability, and it's very lightweight. Some of the people that might enjoy this gun are maybe like bush pilots, backpackers, outdoorsy type of people, adventurous people. The MSRP on this gun, this particular model, camouflage, is $339.95. So prices might vary depending on your local gun store. But that's the AR-7. The next section of the video we'll be taking it out and we'll be shooting it, letting you see how it operates. Okay, so I'm out at one of my local shooting areas. We're going to take this AR-7, we're going to put it together, and we're going to shoot 2 magazines of ammunition through it. So first thing I'm going to pull out is the barrel. Kind of hold that in my arm. Pull out the receiver. I'm going to take the barrel, put it into the receiver. Remember, like I said earlier, there's that corresponding groove that goes into the receiver. Lock this lock nut down. I already have one loaded magazine in the receiver, so I'm going to pull this other magazine out and just stick it in my pocket for a second. From here, I'll put the butt cap back on. Insert this in here and tighten my little screw. Doesn't have to be gorilla tight, just snug. From here, I hope you can see, I'm going to pull out the charging handle, cycle around, and now downrange, it's not too far, I have a little wooden target. Let me zoom in so you can see the target. It's not too far, maybe 25 yards or so. So here we go. I'm going to fire the weapon. So there's the first magazine. I'm going to exit this first magazine, put the second one in. Cycle the bolt back. Here comes my second group. Looks like we only had 7 in that one. Now I'm finished firing, so now at this point I'm going to disassemble and put it back together. So again, I'll put the magazine in my pocket temporarily. I'm going to pull this buttstock cover off, take the screw out of the bottom. This will separate the receiver and the barrel from the stock. I'll put that between my legs temporarily. Make sure that my action is clear, that there's nothing in the barrel. And it is. So we're going to take our barrel lock ring, separate the barrel from the receiver. We'll leave that empty magazine in. Come back here, push the charging handle in, insert the components inside, put the barrel inside, and in my pocket was the spare magazine. From here, put the rest of this together, and that's it for the AR-7. Again, I want to appreciate you guys for watching my videos. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments, feel free to subscribe, and have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay, I just got done finishing some shooting of the AR-7, and here's the target. I don't know if you can tell, but right here I have some, all I had with me was a pin. I made a little X, and it held together a pretty good little group down here. There's a little group here, and then up top here there's a little group, I don't know, probably a 2-inch group or something. So we were shooting nothing serious. We weren't like taking all of our time, you know, holding it. We were kind of a little bit rapid fire in a small sense, but it shot pretty good. We weren't that far away, probably 25-30 yards or so. But anyway, that's the AR-7 results on the wood there. And it's a nice shooting little rifle, and I can't believe how light it is.